Hello, everyone. Israel Luna here. Welcome to another edition of Don't Panic. I'm really excited today because, we are back by popular demand with this subject. We did a show about sex and I was going to say sex, drugs. I meant like love, sex, and relationships. And the first thing that I had, the reaction was everyone wanted to be a guest. And so I thought, okay, this is going to have to be a multi-parter here. So this is part 2. And without further ado, I am going to have my guests introduce themselves starting right here.
Hi, I'm Callie. I don't know, am I supposed to say more than that?
You can say
That's
whatever
all
you want.
Need to know. Callie right here. What's up?
I'm more complicated than that, allegedly. My name is Michael Garza. I am a student and I am a active volunteer in the community. And I was asked to be on this panel. I did not ask. I was approached. Yes. And my people talked to his people. Well, he talked to Callie. Callie is the people.
Callie is a people. Yes.
Yeah, and I'm Richard here. I'm normally on the other side of the camera running this show for us, but today Israel asked me to be on, and let's see what we can do with this.
Yes, and I am so happy that you came here. So I appreciate y'all coming to the show, especially even though Michael. Michael, you are a busy businesswoman this weekend, and you have taken time away from all your corporate meetings and the pie charts and what's the other
bar
one?
graphs.
And bar graphs. You've just been very busy, so I appreciate you taking time. And coming with shoulder pads and the updo and everything. Melanie Griffith and Working Girl.
Well, I had to tell Midtown Spa, I was like, y'all can deal without me for 1 hour. I'm busy.
Exactly. She's very busy. Okay.
Their mouths were full, but
I'm sure they were. Okay. So now, since this episode is about love and sex and relationships, I want everyone to say their statuses as far as, like, for example, I am a gay man. I am single.
I am a relatively straight woman. I am single.
Ooh, I like that. Relatively straight woman.
Mostly straight?
Yeah.
I'm a gay man, allegedly, and I am single.
I thought you were a lesbian. You said you were a lesbian.
It's the haircut.
Okay. Got it.
What about the allegedly?
Well, I'm a straight man, and I've been married for 26 years.
Nice. And that is the reason why I brought Richard on the show, because we needed a straight man perspective, but also we needed someone who was married, so all three of us are single.
Well,
are you
kind of.
Okay.
I mean, I have 2 dogs and some peanut butter, but other than that, I'm pretty much single.
Gotcha. So that would almost sort of count as single. And are you dating anyone?
I'm not dating anyone now.
Okay, got it. Me neither. So with saying that, let's talk about, and Richard, feel free to chime in as well, because we're going to talk about dating. So of course, since you are married, you can just talk about when you were dating.
Yeah, but again, 26 years is going to leave me a little skewed on modern dating.
Oh,
How old are
wow.
I'm 45.
God damn.
Wait a minute. I am about to be.
You're 25.
Yeah, but
I'm 25. I
But,
meant.
like,
Oh, you
yeah,
said 40.
40.
I was in my 20s still.
he
Yes.
doesn't look it. You kind of look
Evil.
Except for that full head of hair.
Exactly.
Do you
My
have a
Farrah
palm
Fawcett
tree
hair.
in here?
So now when it comes to dating, back in, let's just say, quote, back in the day, we're the same age. We're the same age. Back in the day, with dating, where would you go to date? How would you find people? Because it's different nowadays.
Correct.
Yeah, but again, it's still not that much different.
Okay.
The only real difference you're going to have now is your social media. You're so much more connected with everyone now.
Yeah.
And it's such a simple way. that
Because then
before,
it was just the bars, right?
Yeah, you had to go out somewhere or to a social event, the high school football games, whatever it might be. You had to go somewhere. If you didn't know them from, say, work, school, whatever it had to be, you had to go out somewhere to do it. Now you can simply sit in your room and be on 4 or 5 different dating social networks or whatever and find someone that way.
Right. Now, are you on any of the social networking sites?
I'm a lady. I do lady things like
Yes.
wash dishes and watch my man. No, I was on a lot of them.
Like which one? Like what?
Well, I was on Grindr.
Okay.
And Jacked and what was another? What's
Jacked.
Tinder.
Scruff and Tinder.
Tinder.
I only joined Tinder because Hillary Duff was on Tinder.
Oh my God.
I'm not
Wait,
even
okay,
kidding.
so now Tinder can have gay people as well? I thought it was like more of a straight person app.
I think they've changed it recently because you can definitely choose like what you want to look for.
Oh, interesting. Because I mean, Grindr is more a gay app, but I don't think they allow or quote allow the heterosexual people on Grindr.
I think they allow transgender
right.
males and females, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so.
You can find couples on there. That's a thing.
Okay. So are you on there?
Now, what about you, Callie?
Since you
Are
have
you
all this
on
knowledge?
What? I don't know. It was from a friend. I heard it from a friend.
Oh.
No,
Yeah.
I'm just asking for
She's
a
like,
friend.
Exactly.
I subscribe to Craigslist.
Though that is great for looking up entertaining things. Not gonna lie.
Now, are you on Tinder?
I am on Tinder. Yes.
Oh, I didn't know this.
What?
I'm always the last
Neither
to know.
does my mother.
Oh, so now, just out of curiosity, what does the profile sound like? Can you say like, "Hi,
it's
I'm"? Do you give your real
something
name?
Goofy. Yeah, because it's connected through Facebook. So.
Oh, I would not
Which is
want my
weird.
Grinder
Yeah.
to be connected to my Facebook.
But
Well,
that's
because
how
then you
get your
can't lie
picture.
about how old you are.
Exactly. But I also don't want them to know my business because, for example, on my Grinder profile, I just say on there, hey, hippie mentality, hippie lifestyle, blah, 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 business owner. But other than that, I don't say anything else because I don't want them to know my business. I don't want them to know where I am. I don't want them to look me up
But
until
hippie
after we meet.
Hippie sounds homeless.
It does, right?
Like it
I don't
sounds
mind
homeless.
that.
Like
When people see what I drive, they assume that I live in it.
I mean, why would
yeah,
you though?
yeah.
But so, like, what does yours say? Just out of curiosity.
Something about video games and that I like pancakes and that your grandparents will love me.
Oh,
So
okay.
you want to stay
It's something
single.
dorky. Like,
That's the goal. Staying single.
pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much.
What does yours say?
I don't have anything. I don't,
Oh,
okay,
you don't
okay.
have-
Okay, back to me. Okay, so I had everything, and after being rejected so many times and stood up so many times, I finally said, "Dad, leave me alone." I just kind
Or
of
Daddy,
like,
leave me.
Daddy, stop.
Yeah.
I finally said, like, this is too much. Like, I'm a businesswoman. She's business Barbie over
Right,
here. I ain't got
exactly.
time to be stood up. And
Exactly.
I'm too
She's
pretty
very
for all of
busy.
that.
Very busy.
So no, I really did delete all of them, and every now and then I will go on just to troll and be like, "Oh, you're still on here."
With the same photos.
Yeah. And you still just moved? Oh, okay. Oh, you're still brand new.
Oh, right.
Okay,
They're
cool.
still visiting or
They need to be
whatever.
shown
Yeah, 5 years
around.
ago when I was on, you had the same.
Right.
Oh
Okay,
my God,
cute.
5 years?
Well, see, let's
know what I mean.
let's talk about the pros and cons here because, like, what you were saying earlier about how before it was a person, like person to person kind of thing going out. What are the pros and cons to, having that social media way where you can just be at home as opposed to actually socializing and going out? Because I know the first thing I think of is you get to see what they really look like,
Well, you get truth.
right?
Social media, internet, any of that.
It's a superficial
You can be anyone you want to be on the internet.
Yeah.
No one knows who you truly are until you meet face to face.
Right. And the
So-
But
personality.
even then, you can still be, a liar in person. and
Well,
you
that's
can
true,
still
but
look
I think
pretty, but-
I think the first thing though is the truth is physically.
Yes.
Physically, you already see them. Okay, you are not a 23. You are 30, and that's okay. But you can't lie about it in person. Now,
my
as
friend
far-
Vanessa's 28 and she looks 45.
oh,
am not
ouch,
kidding.
Vanessa. Did you
Vanessa,
hear that?
I love you, girl, but damn. Like,
Moisturizer needed?
everything.
Oh.
She has like 80-year-old hands. I love her.
Yeah.
And she's like just braces.
Now, do you either of you have you lied on your profile at all?
I'm too pretty for that.
So you haven't lied or anything. You say everything truth, like your name, your age, what you're into.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we're going real deep. Oh.
I
didn't know I was being
feel
fisted
the reason,
here.
Like, it's already a superficial connection. I do not feel the reason, like, a need to lie to those people. But I have been lied to.
Ah,
Catfish attempted.
gotcha.
By a cat.
By an actual fucking cat.
Now, when you're taking a photo, what type of photo do you post? Do you do the upwards like this to make you look, nice and smoother?
Oh, I go with
and-
something that's already looks good. I'm not going to take a new one necessarily. But,
Okay.
also I do a mix. I try not to put my friends on there. I don't want to put them on there.
Yeah.
No friends, no family go on those profiles.
That's also a good idea because you wouldn't want them to be attracted to one of your friends
Yeah,
instead of
that's-
you.
yeah.
That's always bad.
Yeah, when I did have all of those applications, I did like whatever picture was cute on my Facebook, I would put on Grindr and Scruff and all that stuff. But my Facebook is a little more private to my circle. Everybody else that wants to be my friend or whatever, they'll just go on my Snapchat.
Right.
And the same with when I had the Grinder and all those dating apps, I put minimal information because I am a private person, but I'm in the public all the time, like
Right.
volunteering and stuff like that. So I put some, but not a lot. Like,
Got it.
Kind of the same with you. Like it was very like boom, boom, boom.
Right.
Your picture, mine.
Like a thumbnail sketch of it. Now, where
Yeah.
did you meet your wife? Because I assume it wasn't on a social media app.
No, it was actually back in that day, the big hangout or drag strip, if you will, was on Forest Lane.
Oh.
So me and my friend, we decided to go and run that one night, and we were sitting on one of the undeveloped lots and just in the parking area, and she just happens to be with her friends, and we're sitting there, we're just talking, and all of a sudden you just get this female voice screaming out the window as she drives by.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's cute, whatever. But it happened 4 times in a row, so it's like, well, maybe we should go follow that car. And so-
Now, at first, did you think, okay, this is a crazy woman. Let's go figure out how crazy she is?
Yeah,
Or-
because they do that. They did that all the time.
Got
They
it.
just drive by. You're sitting there, so just boredom. You're in a car. They're gonna, do teenage things.
Yeah.
So yeah, but eventually, then we got to a point where she decided to stop with her friends, and that's when we started talking from that.
Now,
point.
at the moment you saw her, did you think, potential already? Or was it like who cares, whatever at that moment?
No, I was transfixed on other items
Oh.
from
Like
the-
her breasts.
Yes, exactly.
Eyes and the
Mm-hmm.
gorgeous hair.
Did you ask her
Oh,
how much she paid for them?
No, they're all
They're all
real.
natural.
Those
They're
are
all
real.
natural, and they're nice and big. And speaking of that, we have to take our first commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about, do you have sex on the first date? Because now you've met them. You've met this person.
If they paid for dinner, yeah.
We are going to discuss that as soon as we come back from break. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
I love how your segues suck ass.
Gorgeous.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Don't Panic. Before we went to break, we were talking about meeting people and how you use social media, and before social media, just going out in person and going to events to meet people. So now you meet that person. You're getting along just fine. How long should you wait? Days or a number of dates until you actually have sex?
start on that end.
Oh, how long did y'all wait?
30 minutes.
Yeah.
We met eyes.
I wish it happened that fast, but no, it was probably 3 dates.
3 dates.
But okay, so how long though? Was it like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and you had a baby on Monday?
Or like
No,
one
it
date
was-
a week, or
Probably about 2 weeks.
okay.
Yeah, but that wasn't my choice. No, that was not my choice.
If it was
Yeah.
your choice, how soon would you have?
Well,
had-
if she would have that night, yeah, great.
Okay,
Why not?
that's honest.
Why not?
Michael, what about you? When do you think you should have? Sex.
It's a little more complicated for me. I need to like schedule colonics in advance and everything because this whole irritable bowel syndrome thing.
Yes, yes.
But if it was, well, if I can get a guy to stay with me, that's issue number
Oh,
one.
and I've got the
Probably-
single issue.
Right.
Probably, yeah, like 2-3 weeks.
What?
Yeah. If I like him, if I don't, I mean,
Ah.
if it's like
But what if you don't know yet? You just know that evening you like him.
well, then I would wait. If I like
Okay.
him, that like if I like him enough to get to know him more,
Ooh,
then I
that's
would
when it
wait.
gets scary. Yeah, because you're like,
Yeah.
ooh, I like this person. Yeah,
Yeah.
got it. Okay, so about the same length. Okay, now the woman in the room. The biologically born woman in
Also,
the
it's kind of complicated as well because
3
there
months.
is no, actually. I have made the mistake of sleeping with somebody on the first date when I did like them.
And why was it a mistake?
Because we did not get to know each other,
And then it was over.
and then it was over.
Do you think it was over because of the sex?
I honestly do not know. It could have been. That was very shortly after I started dating, like months after I started dating.
So you just went right in.
It's like, fuck it, let's do this.
So she went to Golden Corral and there was
Yeah.
a buffet.
That's fantastic,
And
yeah. And he was
she-
standing there just piling shrimp and like steak on there.
Oh, that was it.
Oh,
that was
serve
it.
on her card,
And I
yes.
just threw him into the mashed potatoes. And we just
So now
went
this
at
is
it.
really
She,
interesting.
like, hulked it over.
Because I'm sure you've wondered before. I wonder if it was because I had sex with him on the first date that it didn't work out. And like, so Richard, let me ask you, if you had had sex with your wife, she wasn't your wife at the time, but your to-be wife first, do you think that you would have lost interest by having sex so early, or does it not matter?
Yeah, to me, it wouldn't have mattered.
Okay.
It would have been just something that happened, and then go out, because of course you're going to want to try to get more sex after that point. If
If
was
it's
more-
good.
yeah, if it was good.
I'm like,
If not, then of
good.
cour's it's going to end it. You're not going to be
Oh, you better find a
interested.
good receipt.
Yeah. Well, because I know women, from speaking to a lot of women, that is their fear. Is one, they have a fear of being seen as a slut. And then two is, well, no, if I keep them waiting and then I make them wait a month, then they'll like me more. Is that kind of...
But there's also a fear in that is if I make this person wait, are they just going to go out and find somebody else who's got better?
Well, but like Richard said, if it's good and they like you already, there's much that matters.
But
What?
then what are we stamping sex? Is it penetration or is it blowjobs?
Anything that has, even if it's oral sex, it's still sex. Anything sexual
Fair.
outside of making out,
Okay.
I would say. Yeah. Because there's another element that you brought up a minute ago is
I don't recall.
that for a gay man to have sex, you have to be prepared. You have to be prepped and ready. And so if
That
you're
hole
not,
better be squeaky fucking clean. Because if there's one speck of what the fuck on my dick, we're done. No, I won't call you back. No, we're not going to finish.
so now, Callie, is that the case like for women as well? It's like, if you're not, feeling,
Sometimes it's also a comfort level. There have been like, oh, dude, I don't want to I haven't prepared at all. I haven't even showered. I just got off work, and I don't even fucking. Let's just go. Let's do this. I don't care. But others, it's just like, well, I don't think people really care that you are prepared for it necessarily, except for this guy. But
Yes.
no, it
Prepare.
doesn't necessarily. hold you
Richard, should women
back,
be
but-
prepared? Because, what if you're going to go, what if you have a man that wants to go down there,
Well, then
They're
I'm
all
gonna
about,
be like, well, let's
Well,
do
yeah,
some
because
other
you
They wanna
don't
go
want
scuba diving.
You don't want to have aromas that you're not going to want to
I like that
encounter.
word.
I'm gonna
yeah.
try to avoid it
aroma.
if I haven't prepared.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's up to it's their comfort level.
Yeah.
But most guys, they don't care.
You know what? And I was
they're
going to
gonna-
say that
Fucking gross.
because this isn't a,
That's
outside
men,
of the
they
gay and
don't,
straight,
they don't care.
It's a man thing where for men, and I'm just going to speak for me, but I know that, we have this little saying, sex is the gay man's hello. And for us, you could have sex with somebody when you first meet them, because then you're like, okay, sex is out of the way. All right, now that burden and that little tension is out of the way. Now let's get to know each other because I really like you and the sex was amazing. So it doesn't really matter. But I don't know if that trick works or not, because it might with women where they hold off and no, not yet. And then if you make them wait long enough, then they're really, really wanting it. Maybe it works.
I feel like that's a myth.
Is it?
That's not how life works.
Well, let's take a recent person that we're not going to name.
No, we're
Okay.
naming.
Situation.
No, we're naming. I don't have cable. We're naming.
It was very obvious that no, I'm not going to name. It was very obvious that we both liked each other.
Okay.
Many people here mentioned it, but nothing ever happened.
Do you know
Okay.
what she's talking about?
No,
Do you know what she's talking about?
He knows
I-
what I'm talking- you know.
Yeah,
he knows.
he
who we're
knows.
talking about.
Oh, okay. And so you're saying nothing happened because
I don't honestly know. Like
Okay.
we both liked each other. Nothing. We never even kissed or anything. We hung out a few times, and then it was just he disappeared.
Did he die? I hope he died. That's what happens to me all the time.
That
happens to me all the
thought
time.
that was a possibility, but no, he popped back up again.
You didn't do it right.
Well, you know what? Well, speaking of not doing it right, that comes to our next topic, which is when you meet someone, do you then start in the conversation, start getting to know their fetishes? Because what if people have certain things and they're looking for someone that have the same fetish, whether it's, hey, I like sex late at night out in an open field, or hey, I would like to watch
Oh, like
voyeurism. Hey, I like having sex while watching porn. What happens at that point?
That's vanilla.
Well, I know. I'm trying to be nice here. We're on the show. This is a family show, Christian show. So when you start, have you come across an experience where you were with someone and then they kind of threw out, hey, I kind of like this, and you're like, oh, then that means I might.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was having Panera Bread on a little date, and I don't know how it happened. I don't know how we got onto the conversation, but he talked about getting fisted, and I was intrigued.
Uh-huh.
And
you immediately started looking at your hands, going,
Did you
Well.
put the D in intrigued?
And
wah.
I asked him, I'm like, do you come back from that? And he's like, yeah, it's so easy. And I'm just like, she has a Barbie hole.
Oh, wait. So you're saying he wanted to fist you, as in he was.
No, he liked not liked, but he'd done it before. It had been done on him.
Got it.
And he was a bigger guy. Not that that's an issue or like a factor, whatever. But I was just like, I don't understand. He didn't look like some people look.
I was gonna say, what does
Like
that first
those
one look like?
nipples are 3 inches long, dude. Like they are crazy, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But he didn't have that,
Right.
anything.
Yeah.
And
You would have
so-
never known. Yeah.
yeah,
So then,
and-
what did you do?
And I was just, let's go, girl. I'm
Oh.
eating my soup. I want to know everything.
Well, see, that's
And-
good. Okay.
But because I'm open to stuff like that, I don't, unless it's like scat or blood or it puts the lotion on the skin kind of stuff, then I'm like, okay, you can pay the check.
So now, Richard, like for example, like when y'all started dating, I mean, were there certain things that everybody has their thing that turns them on? We can't help it. We are chemically built, and we just have things that turn us on. So how is that expressing that?
Well, if you're going to be in a serious relationship, yes, you have to learn these things, because everyone does have that. You have that trigger. You have something that just gets you off. And if your partner is not getting that for you, are you going to be satisfied through that relationship, a long-term relationship like mine? No, you're going to have to learn those things. And in the beginning, you're going to have to learn them and accept them. If not, then of course that's going to be a problem in the relationship. But yeah, you have to learn those. You have to learn what satisfies your partner, period.
Now-
Otherwise, your sex life is, it's a fundamental part of your relationship. It's not everything, but it's a fundamental part.
So what would you say if somebody says, well, just what you just said, and they say, but Richard, sex isn't everything. Like,
Well,
you-
it's not everything, but it's
important.
important.
90%.
Yeah. It's, and if you're, I mean, and that's what they would call compatible. You have to be sexually compatible. If you're not, then the relationship's going to die. All the other parts, unfortunately, will not keep the relationship together.
Got it.
So if you don't understand what your partner wants, and it's communication, you have to communicate. You have to tell them at some point, sit down and say, oh, what do you like? What turns you on? You know? And because if you don't, it will undermine the relationship and it'll eventually end at some point.
Yeah, there was, I'll share a quick little experience, but I knew a guy and I really liked him, and we didn't know each other too well, but after a couple of dates, he, during the makeout session before everything else happens, he used a lot of saliva. I mean, like way too much, like creating it and it just was not my thing. And I thought, you know what? I cannot fulfill that part of his of what he likes, and I'm just not into it. And I felt bad that I couldn't do that.
You could have if he was sucking your dick, because that's really nice.
Okay, well, I'm just talking about here, like just
Yeah,
making
that's true,
out,
actually.
and it's like I don't want to drink your saliva. It's just not my thing.
Wasn't turning you on?
A little bit, but no, trust me, this was like an overabundance.
And again,
of,
that goes to the compatibility part. I mean,
Yeah.
you have other compatibilities, but that one part, which is a fundamental part of the relationship, isn't going to work.
yeah, and I tried. And I tried. And we actually have to cut to break yet again. And we're going to continue this conversation because there's still much more to say. And when we come back, we are going to talk about monogamy. Is it real or is it just a myth? We'll be right back. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Don't Panic. When we were on break, we were talking about, or Callie, you were talking about how sometimes the guy that you're on a date with, you're out on a date with someone and it's amazing and they keep talking about how awesome it is, and then you just don't hear from them again. And we're trying to figure out why that is. And you said you have a story about this, that you confronted someone about it.
Yeah, I did. I felt really good about myself too. So we went on this date. I went to his house, and it was awkward from the beginning because when I parked in front of that house, I had previously worked for a company, a house cleaning company, and he was one of the clients that we used to clean
Okay.
or, work for it. And so that was already awkward. I'm like, I know how disgusting your house is. And I know,
cleaned
how dirty and old it is. I'm like, whatever, moving on. He drives and we have sushi. We're talking about everything. Do you want kids? Do you not want kids? And this is all like the first date. Like, let's get this over with.
Like it was going so well. Y'all
it
were
was
talking
going
about
good.
kids and stuff.
He's a little older.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably about your age, like mid 40s. And everything was going good. We, agreed on a lot of things, and he liked the fact that I was a little younger. I appreciated that he had a little more money than I did. But we get back to the house, and we're making out, right? And everything's going good. He had this dry heave humping sound to him, and he would look into your eyes.
Wait, dry heave hump like.
No,
Yeah, but it was like.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, it was like this.
Yeah, I've heard that one. I've heard
It was so fucking. And I'm like, you know what? That's fine. If that's your thing, I can wear earplugs. And we're making out really hardcore. I wanted to have sex with him on the first date, but I just took a shit earlier that day. I did not have time to clean out or take a shower. So it was a no.
Right.
Cut to me leaving, and I'm like, hey, would okay, bye. I text him when I get home. I'm like, hey, would you like to go on a second date with me? He's like, yeah, sure. And I'm like, okay, cute. A month later, I'm like, okay, this didn't happen, right?
So you see him out.
So I see him out because he works at one of the bars that I frequent, and it's already awkward, right? So I'm like, that's okay. I see him out. He doesn't say anything. And I'm like, okay, cute. And then it started pissing me off because I would talk to my friends about similar situations, and I finally like, you know what? I'm gonna fucking ask him what the fuck, right? So I contacted him about a month and a half later, and I told him, I said, hey, what happened? I thought we had a good time. You never called me back. We kind of agreed to go on a second date. It never happened. What happened? And he's like, well, we just didn't have that much in common. And after you left, I thought about it a couple of days later, and I wasn't really that into it. And I'm like, my lips were still swollen. How are you not that into
Right.
it? Like, I don't understand. Like, and I said, I'm calling out bullshit because, everything was good. And he goes, well, you don't want kids. And I'm like,
Right. Well, see what seems like happened, and maybe it happened in your case as well, is they have in their head what they're thinking, which is, oh, this isn't a great date. We're not going to go on a second date. But you don't know that. And they choose not to tell you that. So pretty much all you're really asking, or all we're all asking, is just let us know. Let us know, hey, I didn't have a great time. What?
Like, what is it? LA?
Oh,
LA?
I have a hashtag, Lank, L-A-N-K, let a nigga know. That's all you got to do. That's all we want, right?
But if he says over and over, dude, this is the best date that I've ever had. This is so awesome. We've got to do this again. And then you don't hear from them. Like, what? I just assume you're a damn dirty liar.
Richard, what do you think it is as the one with the successful relationship of this table? What's going on?
No, as he was saying, there was more there that he's just not willing to talk about. And unfortunately, people, they just don't want to say what needs to be said. They don't want to hurt feelings. They don't want to do anything like that. They don't want to be cruel
like the downer of like,
or
But
brutal,
you can get it worse
or
if
just
you can't be
brutal and
honest
say,
about it.
or brutal and just say, I don't like you. They don't want to hurt feelings instead
I'd
of just
rather
being
that.
honest.
But see, some people don't like confrontation, though. They don't want to have to tell you that.
Neither do I. I'm like the least
Well, I mean, you have
confrontation person ever.
social media.
You have
now.
text messages.
Text messages.
I work at a
Definitely
public
told
place.
I'm just not
Yeah.
that into you. That's all.
I've done it. I am I hate, I don't even want to get a phone call from anybody. But I have definitely like, hey, Callie, I like you. Dude, I think we'd be great. I want to date you for a while. I'm like, dude, I honestly am not into you. You're fun. We can be friends, but it's not going to go past
But you
that.
tell them.
But yeah, I try to tell them.
That's fair.
Yeah,
That's
'cause
fair.
I don't want somebody to be doting over it or whatever, fawning all over me when I'm not interested in them. That's a waste of their time.
Yeah, I had dated someone and it had gone really well. It was like over a summer, and then he just stopped, right? And then all of a sudden, I see this was in the early days of Facebook, and then he had posted, "Oh yeah, I'm moving to Chicago," and so I texted him and I said, "Oh, you're moving?" And he's like, "Yeah, that's kind of why I didn't want to get too close to you because I knew this was coming." And I thought, why don't you just let me know?
Let a nigga know.
Why didn't you just let me know? So because at the same time, he's letting me build my feelings,
Yeah.
even though he already knows what's going on. Why didn't he just tell me? Simon, why didn't you just tell me? When I bring it up to him, he says, "Oh yeah, that's what it." He like shuts down the conversation like in 5 to 10 seconds. He says his side and then stops. And at that moment, I could say, "Well, that's not actually what happened." But then I don't want to even start the conversation because I'm really honestly not that into him anymore.
It's not worth it.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
think
it's not worth
It's not
it.
worth. It's
But
not worth
it's-
spending the energy.
Yeah, but the biggest point is just let us know. It's not like we want to be stalkerish or anything. It's just, hey, we thought it went well. Just let us know what's going on in your head or in your life, and that's all we need, and we can move on as well. Now, let's just say the day goes really well, and it's still going well, and you're starting to date seriously, and then they say, hey, let's be monogamous, just us, nobody else, the two of us. Is that possible? Is monogamy the way to go? Well, we'll start with the woman.
I honestly do not know anymore.
Could you just have sex with one person
Just
for the
like
rest
a
of your
flip a
life?
coin every now and then.
You know, I feel like, and this is just going to touch on, I guess, the later thing of the cheating. You know, if you guys want to talk about it and there's some sort of like, hey, we're not fulfilling each other's needs, but we obviously still love each other. What are we doing about this? Like, I don't know. Ideally, I want to say yes, because that is, you know, the little girl's dream. But I guess the more I learn about people, the more I see, well, maybe that's not a real thing. We are animals.
Now, when you're saying all this, do you mean to your partner or you?
Both, really.
Oh, I'm kind of surprised because I would think that the
thought she
females
was a
would be like,
whore?
no,
Well,
with the opposite, that the women are the ones that are like, yes, monogamy.
it would be
monogamy.
great, yeah. But, you know, the more that I learn about myself and other people, the more I'm like, well, you know, maybe that's not a real thing.
You go, bitch.
That's
Richard, you were about to say something?
No, it's no. In the modern day times, you have to discuss that. You know, you can have a relationship, you can have a marriage, and not be a monogamous part of your marriage. You can have those open relationships, but you have to be honest with each other. And again, it plays back into the fetish thing. Maybe that's what they're into. Maybe they're into the group sex or multiple partners, whatever it might be. You have to work that out first. Don't commit. Don't make that commitment until you have that part worked out.
It's all about communication. Yeah. What
You
about
have
you?
to.
Can you be monogamous?
Um,
I can't even ask that without laughing.
I can. I actually prefer if I can get someone to stay long enough.
Yes.
We can try it out. But yeah, I'd prefer it. I do have a number of friends that either have open relationships, that they're married and open, they're dating and open. I have this one really close friend of mine. His partner isn't able to perform at the moment, so he gave his partner, my friend, the green light to go and be, you know,
Again, they
with
communicated
the other
it.
person. So,
Wow.
communication.
Yeah.
Anonymous.
yeah, like it's really weird and interesting because you see people like your friends and you think, no, they're never going to be open, or no, they're never going to want children, and then, you know, there's something in the water and they drink it and it's like boom, open, boom, 10 kids.
Thought
Right.
you weren't supposed to drink the water, isn't that right?
It's the punch. Don't
Yeah,
drink
Shannon.
the punch.
Yeah. Well, you know, my
No.
previous relationship, I was in a relationship with two men, and I was the oldest. This was around when I was 40.
so.
He was 30, and then we had 20, and we were together about 5 years. And one thing that I discovered was, communication. And when you start building the care and the love, the sex is secondary. So if it's open, it's like, oh, but they're mine, you know. And it's like you have this security in your relationship that the sex doesn't really matter. It's like, go have your fun because you're mine,
Semi.
kind of thing.
Semi, because
You have a semi?
I have a chubby.
What? Yeah.
But then you start worrying about, well, are they using condoms? Is the person that they're sleeping with, you know, are they STD free?
Yeah,
are they
absolutely.
doing drugs? Do they have chlamydia? Do they have syphilis? And it could all go to the back of your throat and you never know. That shit runs through my head. So
Right,
I'm like,
absolutely.
you know what? My 2 dogs, peanut butter, I'm fine.
Right. Well, Richard, what were you
Yeah,
going to say about that?
but it's also too beyond just the physical aspect of it. Are they starting to build an emotional relationship with someone
And
else?
that
Right.
happened to my friend as well.
Um,
To one of my other friends. They were both open, and then one of them ended up developing feelings and wanting to pursue something else with another guy that he was seeing or something. It's crazy.
Well, you know what? I would rather have the person that I'm dating and we're getting really serious. I'd rather have that person have random sex with somebody over here than going and having lunch to somebody that they might potentially care about.
A relationship.
A relationship, because that person could take that person away from me. This is just sex. It's a getting off thing, and it's a guy thing.
And that's why you need to pee on them first date. So
For territory, yeah.
Mark,
I peed on him. He's mine.
Yeah.
Can't you smell that one's mine?
Exactly. I had a woman come up to me and when she realized that my relationship was open, she said, "Open? I can't have that. I'm all about commitment." And I said, "Wait a minute."
Was she black?
Different levels of commitment.
Yes. How did you? I said, "Commitment has nothing to do with monogamy." I said, "I am as committed as you are with your boyfriend. That has nothing to do with it being open." And we're going to talk about that when we come back because we have to take yet another break. And when we come back, we are going to talk about after you've been in the relationship for a while and, it's kind of the sex is getting a little boring. What do you do to spice it up? We're going to talk about that when we come back. We'll be right back.
Call Callie. She'll spice it up.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Don't Panic. I'm going to have everyone introduce themselves again. You haven't introduced yourself since the beginning of the show.
I'm Callie Cat.
My name is Michael Garza.
I'm Richard here.
And when we were at break, we were discussing monogamy and open relationships. And Callie, you have a friend who is now bringing in a third?
No, yes. It's a married couple.
Her parents.
I don't want to know that. No, it's a married couple. They've got little people involved as well. Not
Children?
What?
Sorry, children.
Oh,
They've
I'm
got
like,
they've
hey.
got children.
Little people's a totally different
Sorry,
subject.
yeah,
Exactly.
I totally realized.
I'm watching Lord of the Rings. The dwarves will come in right now.
But they're married. They've been together for as long as I've known them. But now they have a girlfriend. And they are they each date her separately. I don't know if there's like a together thing.
So then the couple lives together and she's separate, and at different times she dates them at different...
Do they pay her?
I don't think they can afford it.
Well, if they got kids, they can afford it.
Now, as the married person at the table, what do you think of this?
Again, if that's it goes down to what their needs are.
No, bullshit. What do you want? Like, that's such a generic
Honesty,
fucking
Richard.
answer.
Come on.
Would
Get
you
real with
do
us.
that?
It would not work in our relationship, no.
Why?
Because she would not be into anything like that.
There you go.
Would you?
Well, I would be more open. I'm a guy.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
come
true.
on. You know, guys are dogs. Well,
Yeah.
you know,
I'm a poodle.
yeah.
I'm a poodle.
So
Yeah. Huh. Interesting. And now, how long have they been married, and how long has she been a part of that?
You know, it's something that I just recently found out about a couple months ago. They've been married over a year now, but they've been together 7-8 years. I
Okay,
think,
got
something
it.
like that.
So, since that's the case, and then how long have you been married?
26 years.
26 years. All right. So let's just say you've been together for a while. The sexual passion side of it, just kind of, just levels out a little bit, and it's not as exciting as it was for those first few months. How do you keep it going, especially you after 26
You
years?
have to know what they like.
Uh-huh.
It all comes down to understanding their fetishes.
Now, are you
is. I
still
mean-
discovering new things, or is it the things that you've discovered years ago and they still work?
No, it's pretty much what when we were younger, as soon as we could get our clothes off, we were going at it.
But
Yeah.
Did your fetishes change? Have they changed? Has her changed?
Hers
anyone
has
changed?
some, as she wasn't, if you will, experienced as I was. So as I would introduce new things to see if she liked them or she didn't, then we would start building on that. So yeah, it has changed over the years as we've introduced new things into the
Okay, I
relationship.
can work with that.
Yeah, because me, I'm 44. I'm about to be 45 at the end of the month. But it wasn't until about 33 to 37 that I started discovering things that I was into that I'm like, why have I never discovered this before? So it's interesting how I'm still discovering things that I like that were completely different than when I was in my 20s. Are you not like that?
I am. I masturbate in the gym shower, and the other day I was tickling my balls, and I liked it.
Were there people watching?
Hasn't taken that step
One
yet.
of the little people
Right. See, that might be next.
I was watching.
in the mirror. Yeah, you do.
No, but I can kind of see it. I'm glad to hear that they changed, because if it's the same, 3 things that you like that, really get you off, that's cute. But then that will slowly turn into repetition. And then if kissing's not getting you off, and then those 3 things are only getting you off, then I think then it's just dead, because you can have anybody else do that to you.
Right. Callie, we need a female perspective here
female.
on fetishes, what you're discovering about yourself, what you like, what you don't like.
Yeah, it was okay. But I've only been in the dating scene, 5-6 years now.
That's
so
5-6 years.
I know.
Fuck, you're
but
a veteran.
But I only
6 years
really
single.
started, I guess, discovering my kind of fetishes and what I enjoyed 3 years ago.
Okay.
So it's just kind of like what he was saying. The person introduces, I guess I was a blank canvas. They started introducing me to things. I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm totally into that. But yeah, that's.
But then it's becoming not making sure, but then being accepted by somebody else, because what seems normal fetish to you might be total across the board for them.
Yeah.
And then that's when it starts to become self-conscious, like, am I weird because I thought this was normal, and then all of a sudden now I really like this guy and he's not willing to do it.
Well, I was dating someone one time, and we went into this sex shop. We were just looking around because we were out of town, and he found, do you know what a sounder is?
Oh my God, yes!
Okay, so they're pretty much these little steel or metal rods about this long,
not
and
little.
you put them in your pee hole, and then you jack
Urethra.
off, and yeah.
And then you flick it as you take it out.
Oh, I didn't know all that. Okay. So
I'm a lady.
he came to me and he said, I'm going to buy one. And at that moment, I knew that I was not into that. And at that moment, I thought to
what
myself,
note did he choose? Was it like an F?
The
a
D
C,
flat.
D flat, yeah. Of course, it would be the D. But I thought to myself, I'm never going to be able to enjoy this with him. So at that moment, I thought, I need to prepare myself mentally for him to go and find people that are going to be into those things as well, because I don't want to take that away from him.
You couldn't do it to him?
I didn't want to. It makes me cringe. And I'm open to trying, but there are certain things that I just can't, huh?
Like, I would have done it. I've been wanting to do something
I
extreme.
have it if
like
you want
that.
it. He ended up using it one time, and he said, guess
no,
what?
no.
I'm not into it after all. And I was like, oh, okay.
Not
that's
on
good.
myself, on someone else.
Oh.
No, me and my Peter, we're cute, we're good. But I I don't want to do that. I don't have health insurance. If something goes wrong,
You don't have
I
Obamacare?
cannot get it fixed. I'll transition at that point. Cannot go back from that. But I've been wanting to like fist someone, and I haven't done it yet.
Well, go find that guy that you went on the date with.
Craigslist.
Well,
Craigslist. Oh my God, you could find so many people.
no.
Just post it like Will Fist.
Well,
Exactly.
fist for free.
No, get a meal out of
Or
it for food.
Yeah, fist for food.
Yeah, there is nothing wrong with that. Guys, we already have to take our last break.
Oh, damn.
We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we are going to close out the show, and we are going to talk to our guests, and we'll be right back. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Don't Panic. I want to thank all of my guests for being on my show and, taking time out of their very busy schedules, especially this businesswoman here.
Business Barbie all the way.
All the way. So let all of our watchers, listeners know like how they get a hold of you, where you are, what you're working on, what you're doing, Callie.
I'm at the front desk 5 days a week.
Just walk in the door.
walk
Let's
in
see you
and
find
you'll
She
it.
find
validates
me.
parking.
Where,
You're
Callie?
going to
Where?
not.
Where?
It's your own damn park.
They need to know where.
Spayse Studios, 14. I'm not going to give that address out loud.
Do it.
They're stalkers. No, I'm on Facebook, or
My
you
mom
can
lives
find
too
me
far away
here.
to stalk you.
Not for much longer. She'll be here soon. But yeah, that's pretty much. Or Tinder.
Oh,
No, don't find me on Tinder.
yes.
Please don't. I'm going to swipe left if I already know you.
Hoochie Mama is her handle on there.
No, it's not.
Hashtag loves the G.
It might be that.
Like,
I don't know. I'm on Snapchat at Mikey Mission, and I'm everywhere. I do a lot of volunteering in the community. I go to school, and
you do gay bingo.
I do gay bingo. There's actually one tomorrow. Doors open at 5. Show starts at 6, and it ends around 9 or 9:30. Yeah, I do a lot of the resource center events. So if you ever are here in Dallas, and if you want to see me without being charged, go to one of those events.
Yeah. Richard, what about you?
Well, I'm on Facebook. Of course, my name there. I'm rarely on Instagram. I don't do Snapchat. No one wants to see me take pictures of myself.
I
We
do.
want to see
No.
the
With
growth
filters.
of your beard
Yeah.
each day.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the little doggy. No,
Yeah.
no. But I will give a shameless plug for my show that my daughter does, Samantha. We'll be starting up again here on May 4th. Slate Me TV.
Oh, it starts again. Yes.
May 4th. It'll be, again, Slate Me TV on Facebook, or again, search for Slate Me TV on YouTube. And I'll have our first show again on May 4th.
Excellent.
It sounds like you were
want
asking me
one
to
bit
be a
of
guest on
shameless
that show.
self-promotion.
Yes. One more.
All you have to do is send me your info. We'll put you on.
That's
One
what
more
it sounds
self
like.
plug here.
Best date ever. This Saturday night will be Deadly Sins at Wits End. So go check that out.
Ah, nice. And everyone, I am Israel Luna. I am here at Spayse Studios, Spayse studios.com. And you can catch all of these shows on YouTube channel. Just do a search for Spayse Station, spelled the same way, Spayse. If you would like your own show, you can email us at spacestudios@gmail.com. And we broadcast live every Friday at 3 o'clock. Don't miss the next show because it's going to be crazy. I had a great time here today. Thank you so much for coming out, and we will see you next week. See you later.